¿Qué tal? Muy buenas tardes. Joe Biden, cumbre de Vilna, OTAN. Cuidado, porque se está empezando a manejar en exceso la escalada nuclear como palabras clave en esa cumbre en Vilna. Vamos hasta allí, escuchamos a Joe Biden.
Crackdown, the first foreign visitor to have their passport stamped here in Lithuania with visas to this new reborn state were a plane load of Lithuanian Americans from Chicago, Illinois. Oh. And their families are still proud of that. Los Angeles came after that. A lot came after. Look, many aboard that plane and fled Lithuania during the early years of Soviet oppression and marveled at their return to this independent state. One of them told reporters, quote, "This day is like a resurrection for us. This day, Father, is like a resurrection for us." That's what the quote was, for real. That's the feeling. And it was. A resurrection that quickly became a revelation. And a nation which stands today as a stronghold of liberty and opportunity. A proud member of the European Union and of NATO. I had the great honor as United States Senator of championing Lithuania and other Baltic states to join NATO in 2004. Wasn't I brilliant doing that? But all kidding aside, think about how it's changed things. Think about what's happened. Now, over the last few days, as President of the United States, I had the honor of participating in the historic NATO summit hosted by Lithuania, where we welcomed NATO's newest ally, Finland, and reached agreement to bring Sweden into the alliance as soon as possible. And President Erdogan kept his word. We've witnessed your historic journey, and I'm proud to call Lithuania friend, partner, and ally. Ally.
Joe Biden hablando de que están en el lado correcto, de que este día va a ser recordado para la historia, que él está orgulloso de haber, como senador demócrata, participado de todo esto en 2004 y de esa entrada de Lituania en la OTAN, donde hoy se celebra esa cumbre en Vilna. Agradecido Joe Biden, dice, de estar del lado de la libertad y las oportunidades de una Europa y una OTAN frente a quienes quieren derribar la libertad.
Attack against one is attack against all, because each member of NATO knows that the strength of our people and the power of our unity cannot be denied. If I sound optimistic, it's because I am. Today, our alliance remains a bulwark of global security and stability, as it's been for more than 7 decades. NATO is stronger, more energized, and yes, more united than ever in its history. Indeed, more vital to our shared future. It didn't happen by accident. It wasn't inevitable. When Putin and his craven lust for land and power unleashed his brutal war on Ukraine, he was betting NATO would break apart. He was betting NATO would break. He thought our unity would shatter at the first testing. He thought democratic leaders would be weak, but he thought wrong. Faced with the threat.
Pensó, en clara referencia a Putin, dice Biden, pensó que los líderes del mundo libre no se iban a unir, que quienes estaban en Europa, quienes estaban en la OTAN, quienes estaban al frente de Estados Unidos no se iban a unir y no iban a resistirle, pensó que Ucrania no iba a resistirle y se equivocó. En clara referencia a Vladimir Putin y a lo que está ocurriendo en esa guerra en Ucrania. Volvemos con Biden.
In the months leading up to the war, as Putin amassed his forces on the Ukrainian border and laid the groundwork for his brutal invasion, I was in constant contact with my fellow leaders of the G7 and the European Union and NATO, constantly. We warned the world what Putin was planning. Even some in Ukraine didn't believe what we had our intelligence community found. We made sure NATO was prepared to deter any aggression against any member state. We pursued intense diplomacy with Russia, seeking to avert this terrible war. And when Russian bombs began to fall, we did not hesitate to act. We rallied the world to support the brave people of Ukraine as they defend their liberty and their sovereignty with incredible dignity. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Think about it. Think about what they're doing. After nearly a year and a half of Russia's forces committing terrible atrocities, including crimes against humanity, the people of Ukraine remain unbroken. Unbroken. Ukraine remains independent. It remains free. And the United States...
Se han realizado atrocidades en esta guerra. Rusia está realizando una serie de actos terribles y atroces, pero la gente de Ucrania, dice Joe Biden, permanece irrompible. Nada les ha partido. Volvemos con el presidente de Estados Unidos en esa cumbre de Vilna en la OTAN.
And now in Vilnius, to declare to the world what I say again, we will not waver. We will not waver. I mean that. Our commitment to Ukraine will not weaken. We will stand for liberty and freedom today, tomorrow, and for as long as it takes. We all want this war to end on just terms. Terms that uphold the basic principles of the United Nations Charter that we all signed up to. Sovereignty, territorial integrity. These are two pillars of peaceful relations among nations. One country cannot be allowed to seize its neighbor's territory by force. Russia could end this war tomorrow by withdrawing its forces from Ukraine, reckoning its international borders, and ceasing its attacks on it, its inhumane attacks on Russia, by Russia on Ukraine, against its children, women and children, its military. Unfortunately, Russia has shown thus far no interest in the diplomatic outcome. Putin still wrongly believes that he can outlast Ukraine. He can't believe it's their land, their country, and their future. And even after all this time, Putin still doubts our staying power. He's still making a bad bet that the conviction and the unity among the United States and our allies and partners will break down. He still doesn't understand that our commitment, our values, our freedom is something he can never, never, ever, ever walk away from. It's who we are. I mean it, it's who we are. It's who we are. Throughout this horrific war, the people of Lithuania, together with our Baltic brethren...
Putin sigue creyendo que puede ganar, que puede hacerse con esa tierra, que puede vencer en Ucrania, y está muy equivocado, dice Joe Biden, porque en torno a esos valores en los que claramente basados, dice Biden, en la libertad, en torno a esos valores estamos tanto Estados Unidos como todos los aliados de la OTAN, y no vamos a dejar que bajo ningún concepto termine ganando la guerra Vladimir Putin. Joe Biden siendo quizás hoy más tajante que nunca acerca del destino de Ucrania, en particular después de esa cumbre en la que se le ha prometido una protección absoluta, una seguridad extraordinaria por parte del G7, y en el que la propia OTAN le ha dicho a Zelensky, al presidente de Ucrania, que se le admitirá en esa OTAN al término de la guerra.
I'm not joking. I mean this sincerely. We must never forget how much this matters, and never, never give up on a better tomorrow. The defense of freedom is not the work of a day or a year. It's the calling of our lifetime, of all time. We are steeled for the struggle ahead. Our unity will not falter, I promise you. Woo. Folks, as I look around the world today at a moment of war and peril, a moment of competition and uncertainty, I also see a moment of unprecedented opportunity. Unprecedented opportunity. Opportunity to make real strides toward a world of greater peace and greater prosperity, liberty and dignity, equal justice under the law, human rights and fundamental freedoms, which are the blessing and birthright of all of humanity. That is the world the United States is working toward. And it's one we'll only reach if we do it together. And I mean together. We need to take the same spirit of unity, common purpose, determination that we've demonstrated in our response to Russian aggression in Ukraine, and bring more partners along as we continue working to build a world we want to live in and a world we want for our children. My friends, at the most fundamental level, we face a choice. It's not hyperbole, we face a choice. A choice between a world defined by coercion and exploitation, where might makes right, or a world where we recognize that our own success is bound to the success of others. When others do better, we do better as well. Where we understand that the challenges we face today, from the existential threat of climate change to building a global economy where no one gets left behind, are too great for any one nation to solve on their own. And that, to achieve our goals and meet the challenges of this age, we have to work together. And I mean this sincerely, the world's changing. We have a chance to change the dynamic. That's why I've been so focused as president on rebuilding and revitalizing the alliances that are the cornerstone of American leadership in the world. These past years, we brought the transatlantic partnership to new heights, reaffirming the importance of the relationship between Europe and the United States as an anchor to global stability. The idea that the United States could prosper without a secure Europe is not reasonable. We've also elevated it, it really isn't, not a joke. We're also elevated and deepened American alliance in the Indo-Pacific with Japan, the Republic of Korea, Australia, the Philippines, which provide critical security and deterrence in that vital region of the world. Through our Quad partnership, it's a fancy way of saying our partnership with Australia, India, Japan, and the United States, we're bringing major democracies of the region together to cooperate, keeping the Indo-Pacific free and open, prosperous, and secure. We've demonstrated during this NATO summit, with Indo-Pacific partners joining us for the second year in a row. We're working to deepen connections between the Atlantic and Pacific democracies so they can better work together toward the shared values we all seek. Strong alliances, versatile partnerships, common purpose, collective action to meet our shared challenges. The world has shrunk. That's how we build a future to see, but we share and know we share challenges and work together. We have to step up together, building the broadest and deepest coalition to strengthen and defend the basic rules of the road, to preserve all the extraordinary benefits that stem from the international system grounded in the rule of law. We have to come together to protect rights and freedoms, to underwrite the flow of ideas and commerce, and which have enabled decades of global growth. Yes, territorial integrity and sovereignty, but also principles like freedom of navigation and overflight, keeping our shared seas and skies open so that every nation has equal access to our global common space. And as we continue to explore this age of new possibilities, an age enabled by rapid advances in innovation, we have to stand together to ensure that the common spaces of our future reflect our highest aspirations for ourselves and for others. As my dad would say, that everybody is treated with some dignity. So that artificial intelligence, engineering, biology, and other engineering emerging technologies are not made into weapons of oppression, but rather are used as tools of opportunity. We're working with our allies and partners to build a supply chains that are more resilient, more secure, so we never again face a situation like we had during the pandemic, where we couldn't get critical goods we needed for our daily lives. You know, we all must summon the common will to actually address the existential threat of accelerating climate change. It's real, it's serious, we don't have a lot of time. It is the single greatest threat to humanity. It's only by working together that will prevent the worst consequences of climate change from ravaging our future and that of our children and grandchildren.
Joe Biden, hablando ahora de otros asuntos, destacándolo hacia el cambio climático, hablando de que en realidad hay una serie de problemas que subyacen también y que no tienen que ver solo con la guerra, que evidencian claramente que el mundo está partido en dos y que quien defiende los valores democráticos de la libertad, quien tiene una moral buena, si me permiten decirlo así, es el propio Biden, es Estados Unidos, es la Alianza del Atlántico Norte, es la OTAN. y evidentemente es Europa, los aliados de Estados Unidos, defendiendo una vez más todo esto, hablando también de cómo van a estar siempre, que no se van a rendir, van a estar siempre del lado de Ucrania en este caso, y que evidentemente da igual a qué punto se llega. Ha llegado a hablar incluso de que el asunto de las armas químicas, biológicas, lo que está ocurriendo, lo vivido durante la pandemia, todo eso es un desastre que nos ha alejado de lo que nos viene siendo necesario en el día a día, de bienes críticos que necesitamos para sobrevivir y para vivir en el día a día, y que todo eso en realidad viene soslayado de las fórmulas con las que esos aliados, con las que Estados Unidos y sus aliados afrontan los distintos problemas, afrontan también la realidad del día a día frente, sin embargo, a otro bloque que no lo hace de esta manera y que no afronta asuntos evidentes, dice, como pueda ser incluso el cambio climático o la lucha contra la pobreza y la desigualdad. Joe Biden, quizás uno de los discursos más agresivos que ha pronunciado a lo largo de este año. Vamos hasta Vilna.
Ladies and gentlemen, we stand at an inflection point in history, where the choices we make now are going to shape the direction of our world for decades to come. The world has changed. Will we turn back naked, unchecked aggression today to deter other world would-be aggressors tomorrow? Will we staunch the climate crisis before it's too late? Will we harness the new technologies to advance freedom, or will we diminish it? Will we advance opportunity in more places or allow instability and inequality to persist? How we answer these essential questions is literally going to determine the kind of future our children and grandchildren have. And again, that's not an exaggeration. It's a fact. It's going to take all of us. All of us. I believe that with ambition, with confidence in ourselves and one another, with nations working together for common cause, we can answer these questions. We can ensure the vision we share and the freedoms we cherish are not just empty words in a troubled time, but a roadmap. I mean this literally, a roadmap, a plan of urgent action toward a future we can reach, and reach if we work together. Folks, the road that lies before us is hard. It will challenge us, summon the best of ourselves, to hold faith in one another, and never give up, never lose hope, never. Every day we have to make the choice. Every day we must summon the strength to stand for what is right, to stand for what is true, to stand for freedom, to stand together. That, my friends, is the lesson we learn from history and the history of Lithuania's story. You know, it's a lesson we see demonstrated each day, and it will determine what Ukraine looks like. And it's how we're going to work, how we rewrite the future of peace and hope, justice and light, liberty, possibilities for everyone, everyone, everywhere. Folks, some have heard me say to my country many times, never ever in my entire career been more optimistic about the prospects of the future. Never, never. So let me just say thank you for taking the time to be here to listen. God bless you all, and may God protect the freedoms of the protectors of
Joe Biden terminando ese discurso, dando las gracias por haberle escuchado, pero sobre todo, nunca he sido más optimista, dice, con respecto al futuro que nos espera, un futuro de paz y de esperanza, un futuro en el que evidentemente, colegas, dice, vamos a estar del lado de los ucranianos y vamos a hacer que evidentemente Ucrania no solo resista, sino que perviva, que entre en la OTAN, que aguante del lado correcto, del lado de la libertad, del lado de los aliados de Estados Unidos y de la OTAN, de ese lado en el que se protege día a día, dice Joe Biden, los valores morales y la libertad necesarias para una vida, dice, digna. Joe Biden, además, cargando con bastante dureza contra Vladimir Putin a lo largo de este discurso, diciendo que si cree que va a vencer, está muy equivocado. Si aún a día de hoy cree que esto es todo lo que van a resistir y que ha llegado ya el momento en el que Ucrania se va a partir, no ha llegado, que Ucrania sigue siendo irrompible y siguen sin partirse ninguno de los ucranianos, que va a aguantar y que sobre todo lo va a hacer porque la fortaleza de todos los aliados tras Ucrania va a seguir ahí día tras día tras día. Tratan de dotarle más seguridad, el G7 lo ha acordado hoy mismo, Tratan también de darle una salida. Han asegurado que la OTAN admitirá como miembro a Ucrania una vez termine esta guerra, una guerra para la que, como pueden oír a Joe Biden, no esperan una victoria de Vladimir Putin. Nunca nos rendiremos, dice Joe Biden, nunca se va a rendir nadie. Cuidado, porque ese never give up no habla solo de Ucrania. Claramente, la OTAN no está en el conflicto con soldados, pero empieza esto a parecerse mucho a una guerra global, por más que solo se libre en Ucrania. Vamos a hacer una breve pausa, muy breve, y volvemos con el análisis.